Imagine a world where the sky opens, where invisible forces become visible, and where humanity's destiny reaches its climax. The book of Revelation, the last in the Bible, takes us on a journey through time and space, revealing the mysteries of the end times. But do these prophecies describe symbolic events or an inevitable reality? What can we expect from this future world, according to the vision that John had on the island of Patmos? Before continuing, have you subscribed to the channel? Activate the bell and leave your like so that more people can discover this content and explore the biblical passages together with us. Revelation is not only a book of catastrophe and destruction, but also of hope and renewal. It reveals a divine plan for humanity, but it also presents us with scenes that may seem frightening. From kingdoms rising and falling, to seals being broken, trumpets sounding and plagues ravaging the earth. Each image is a key to understanding the future of the world. But what comes after so much destruction? Is there something more than the end? In Revelation there is a promise, a new heaven and a new earth, where evil will no longer have power and where true peace will be restored. And that's what we're going to explore today. What awaits us after the great battle, after the last confrontation between the forces of good and evil? Throughout this video, we will discover what the apocalypse has to tell us about the future of humanity. But before we get into the details, how about a little trip into the heart of this revelation? Get ready to see something that will change the way you understand the world and the future of our existence. Ready for the mystery? So stay with us and stay until the end, because what comes next will challenge everything you've ever thought about the end of the world. Let's go. The apocalypse begins with something we cannot ignore: the 7 seals that will be broken. Each seal symbolizes a crucial phase of the end times, and when they are broken, heavenly and earthly forces begin to align for the final battle. But what exactly does the breaking of each seal mean? The first reveals a white horse and its rider who carries a bow. He is known as the Knight of Conquest, and his appearance marks the beginning of great transformations on earth. This knight does not come with a sword, but with a bow, indicating that the war will be, in a way, silent and strategic. Conquest will not just be about physical battles, but about a fight of ideologies, of hearts and minds. Now imagine this for a moment: a world in which ideas dominate more than weapons, where disputes are not won with force alone, but with convictions that draw crowds. This is the scenario that Revelation offers us in the first seal. But what comes next? The breaking of the second seal brings the red horse, representing war and spilled blood. This knight's mission is to spread violence, conflicts between nations, and the chaos that will take over the world. This is not just a military war, but the inner war that goes on in every human being. What's at stake? The future of our inner peace, our ability to live in harmony. Now imagine that the earth, with all its conflicts and divisions, reaches a breaking point. War will no longer be a distant issue, but something that will be experienced by everyone. The night of war brings to light the consequences of a divided humanity. But what awaits us after these revelations of war and conquest? Stay until the end of this video, because soon we're going to talk about the third seal and how it gives us even deeper insight into what comes after the war. After the war brought by the Red Knight, it is time to face the third seal. Here, we see the black horse symbolizing the famine that will hit humanity. The knight riding it holds a scale, signaling scarcity and the struggle for control of resources. Hunger will be a direct consequence of the war, corruption and imbalance that will take over the world. And what does this hunger really mean? It's not just a lack of food, but a hunger for power, for control, and even for justice. When the scales are placed before men, the value of things will be distorted. The world will experience a desperate fight for survival, where many will have to choose between morality and necessity. This is one of the darkest revelations of the apocalypse, the moment when humanity loses its essence in search of something more material. Soon after the horseman of hunger, the fourth seal is broken, and the pale horse appears, with its rider, Death. He comes with the power to decimate a large part of humanity, not only through hunger, but also through the pestilence, disease, and destruction that will follow the other nights. Death will not only be physical, but symbolic. It will represent the end of a cycle, the death of old forms of life, and the entry into a new era, where only the remnants will be able to survive the chaos. Death, however, is not the definitive end. It brings with it an important reflection on human mortality, on what we have lost and what we must preserve. What will be the legacy we will leave after this great destruction? What really matters when everything around us seems to fall apart? And now, a new mystery approaches. What happens after the destruction? How will humanity react to the chaos? The answer is in the following seals, and that is where we will see the true transformation of the world. The time has come to understand how the sky opens and how humanity prepares for the final challenges. After the apocalypse caused by the four horsemen, humanity finds itself in a state of absolute chaos. But the true transformation is yet to come, and it comes with the breaking of the fifth seal. Upon opening the seal, John sees the martyrs, those who were killed because of their faith. They cry out for justice, asking God to remember their faithfulness and avenge them. This moment is crucial, as it makes us reflect on human suffering, injustice, and the persecution of the just. The cry of the martyrs is not just a call for revenge, but a demand for the restoration of divine order. They call for evil to be destroyed so that justice can finally be established in the world. The sixth seal, in turn, reveals a cosmic cataclysm. The earth shakes, stars fall from the sky, and the sun and moon become dark. These apocalyptic signs represent the disintegration of the current system. The natural order of the world will be broken, and humanity will be forced to face its fragility in the face of the vastness of the universe. But what comes after this destruction? What happens when the entire system we believe in collapses? When everything material and transitory disappears, what remains? The answer lies in a concept that appears in Revelation: the final judgment. God prepares to judge the living and the dead, rewarding the righteous and punishing the wicked. However, Revelation is not just about judgment. He also talks about restoration. Through judgment, God creates space for the new. But this restoration is only possible because, after all the suffering, a new heaven and a new earth will be established, where evil will no longer have power and where peace will reign forever. And what does this mean for us? What happens when the last enemy, death, is defeated? Revelation teaches us that, despite everything that has been destroyed, there is hope. A hope for renewal and a better future. And this brings us to a point of deep reflection. What can we do to prepare for this new world that is approaching? Now, the time has come to understand how the apocalypse shows us the final battle between good and evil, the definitive victory over the forces of darkness, and what really awaits us after this spiritual war. After judgment and restoration, Revelation takes us to one of the most impactful moments in the entire Bible, the great final battle. It is the struggle between the forces of good, commanded by the triumphant Christ, and the forces of darkness, under the command of the beast and the false prophet. This will be the definitive confrontation, the last test for humanity. What will this battle be like? The Bible describes that in a time of great tension, the beast will gather the nations of the earth to war against the Lamb. However, Christ, with his divine strength, will triumph definitively. Contrary to what the world expects, Christ's victory will not be with military strength, but with his divine power, which will annihilate darkness and bring eternal peace. The beast and the false prophet will be thrown into the lake of fire, signaling the total defeat of evil. But what does this mean for us? When evil is finally defeated and peace reigns, what will truly be left for humanity? The answer comes with the vision of the new heaven and new earth. After destruction and judgment, creation will be renewed, purified from all corruption. What we see here is a promise of a world where suffering and death will no longer exist, a world where tears will be wiped away, and where everyone will live in harmony with God. And the most impressive thing about this new creation is that for those who remained faithful, God will be with them in fullness, dwelling among his people. Revelation ends with a vision of hope, the heavenly Jerusalem, a city that shines with the glory of God, where there is no longer any need for sunlight or moonlight, for God will be the eternal light. But there is something even more fascinating. This new Jerusalem will not just be a place, but a reality where God will be fully present and where the relationship with Him will be restored. The world will be healed, and humanity will finally be able to live to its fullest. What seemed lost will be restored, and true peace will be established. And so Revelation reveals to us that the end of the world, although a time of tribulation, is also a beginning. The beginning of something great, something that transcends our current understanding. It is a promise of a future in which all evils will be erased and divine goodness will reign eternally. As we reach the end of this journey through the apocalypse, we are challenged to reflect on the future that awaits us. The book reveals a world of tribulations, but also of hope. Destruction brings with it the promise of a new creation, where peace will be restored and where, finally, evil will be defeated once and for all. Revelation teaches us that despite the adversities we face, God has a plan for humanity. And in the end, God will win. He will be the just judge, but also the God who restores and renews all things. The end will not be the end that many fear, but the beginning of a new era where His glory will be revealed in all its fullness. But there is one undeniable and fundamental truth. No one knows when the apocalypse will occur. We don't know the day or the hour. What we do know is that the divine promise of victory is certain. Therefore, it is essential that we live with this hope in our hearts, prepared to face the challenges of the present with the confidence that the end will be glorious. And now I invite you to reflect. How do you prepare for this future? Are you willing to live according to the principles that Revelation presents to us? What can you do today to be closer to God and His will for your life? The biblical texts we used for this video are in the description, so that you can study the revelations of the apocalypse in more depth. Enjoy and subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and share this video with anyone you believe needs to hear this message of hope. Stay firm in faith because the battle is in God's hands and He has already guaranteed the victory.